Hi, welcome to Entrepreneur Mind Speak. My name is Lauren, and I'm founder and creative director for Creme de Mint, a branding and packaging design agency. In today's episode, we're going to talk about brand loyalty and customer service. And this episode, actually, it came out of another episode that we were kind of getting a little off topic. So we decided to turn this into a little mini episode. I hope that you will enjoy it and that it inspires you to think about your customer service and how your business handles it. So it's really important that your brand conveys your values, your story, and your unique way of serving your customers. You want to humanize your brand because a lot of people are really craving that enjoyable customer experience.
It's kind of an interesting shift because I feel like, when you look a very long time ago, it was just people bartering with each other and people would have little stores and you would always know kind of like the owner of that business most of the time because most businesses were local. And it kind of shifted for a while. A lot of businesses became kind of faceless besides having, maybe an about us page and a mission statement. But beyond that, it was like, this is our brand. And the brand was very much at the forefront. And you didn't necessarily hear all that much about the founder or anything like that. And it didn't matter. And I think that was maybe during the whole 90s, it was definitely like that.
I just imagine these websites that I used to visit and it felt very corporate, a bit soulless in a way.
Yes.
That sounds bad. You knew that they were providing this great service, this quality service, but there wasn't really a human connection to it.
Totally. And I almost feel like that was kind of the style because I was in web development like 2007, 2008 time. And we would have businesses that would come in and they were like two people businesses, like they were very small, and they would buy a website and they would want their website to portray as if they were like a massive corporation. So like their website would look like it was this huge business, but it was just like these two guys building a business. And I think that we've had a really beautiful shift back to the personalization of brands now with social media and everything like that. Like the story behind the brand has become really important because I think there were so many brands that just popped out of nowhere and some of them were kind of soulless, like you were saying. And I think people are really loving that now personal touch. And that's why you even see like big CEOs and stuff like that. They have Twitter accounts or they have their social media. So people can have not only a connection to the brand, but actually a connection to the people within the brand. So that's definitely something to think about when you're telling your story. As simple as your story you might feel it is, or as uninteresting as you might think it is, because sometimes people don't know what to say about themselves. People love hearing that. They love hearing about the founder. They love hearing about the ideas behind a product and what the values are.
Absolutely. And it's so much more memorable when you hear that story, and especially if it's a story that really resonates with you, because people want to buy from businesses whose values that they share also.
If you are a business where you're interacting with customers directly, which is a lot of businesses, even e-commerce interact with their clients directly quite a bit sometimes. What do you do differently than others? And it could be something that seems very small to you, but it might make a massive difference for the customer. Even just a coffee shop where the barista is super friendly and says hi and good morning versus ones where that doesn't happen. And it's maybe like a little bit more of a moody atmosphere. And the one does much better than the other. So these very little things can make a massive impact. And I think that's something important to pay attention to because what makes you unique, it might be very small and it might not be something, super massive that you have to come up with some strange idea that's never been done before. It might be just in the way how you handle business. But you have to dig a little bit and really find what are those little things that might be very small for you, but might ripple out in a huge way. I feel like the importance on customer service is really making a massive comeback. Because again, that was something that used to be like the most important thing. The creator of Enterprise Rent-A-Car, that was his whole thing. It was just like, oh, we're just going to have better customer service than the other companies like Hertz and stuff, even though they were much bigger. And what's funny is that then we went into a whole period of time where, you know, a lot of things became automated, a lot of things came online. Customer service was kind of this promoted thing that people talked about a lot for a while, but didn't fully follow through on. Well, now customer service is really making a comeback through chats. A lot of websites have the chat functionality, so people can get their questions answered right away. And that personal touch of a real person that you can talk to. And it's becoming something that people are really putting a lot of importance on. They want to know that there's a real person that they can talk to if they have questions about the product.
You touched on a pain point for me because I get so frustrated by customer service that is, you know, where I can't reach somebody, or it's automated, or, you know, where you end up going through all of these loops and you can't get to where you need to go,
Yes.
or I find it very frustrating. So I love to hear that that is changing. I hope that it continues to. I'm guessing that with all the AI products out there, we'll probably replace some of the chat bots that are there now and actually help answer the questions like more thoroughly, because
Yes.
you'll find that when I, you know, respond to a chat bot, sometimes I get my questions answered, but a lot of times I'm like, come on, I just want a real person so that I can get my questions really answered.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes some time before they send you an email back. As that technology gets better, as business owners be able to provide better quality customer service, which I think is super important. And I think that a lot of the larger businesses are really missing out because they're not investing as much into the customer experience, the customer journey.
It's almost like a very slight decorporatization that people want. You know, people have gotten used to dealing with these massive conglomerates and the problems that go along with that. So people kind of like the idea of scaling it back a bit and having a real human connection when they're shopping.
The businesses that truly care about their customers and really show it, as opposed to some of these larger companies that say that they care, but values aren't lining up with what's actually happening. And I think that can really degrade trust and degrade how people feel about your brand. It is important, especially as a small brand, to really have that customer service there.
As an example that, you know, someone may be able to apply, there's a dog food brand called Farmer's Dog. I signed up for it because it was promoted to me through whatever ad, and it was like very high quality food, and it's like basically fresh food, and they send it to your house every month. And I probably would have already unsubscribed to them because it's like a subscription thing if it wasn't for the amazing customer service. From the beginning, they had like a text line, like they texted me something, which is normal. A lot of businesses, they have like, you know, they send you text promos or something like that. But in this case, it's a real human. And anytime I have a question about their product, I can text them and I get a response almost immediately. It's amazing. And even to the point where my dog grew, and so like he needed bigger portions. And so I texted and I was like, hey, he's now this many pounds. We probably need to readjust the portions. And they came back to me with the new price. And I was like, whoa, that's like too much. I don't want to spend that on dog food. And the person at the other end not only was very courteous with me about it, but he actually helped me restructure the deliveries. So I was paying much less for shipping. And so it fit within my budget.
Wow. Going over and beyond, like saying, okay, we see the pain point that you're having right here, and we want to help you with that pain point.
Exactly. I thought that was so incredible. And that was like a great example of a modern company it's all online, but they still really kept in that human touch of, we will we stand behind our product so much that we're willing to put all of this service there to help make sure it's the best experience for you as possible.
That experience is really going to make people feel very cared about
Yes.
and want to continue supporting your products. What is that adjective that your brand stands for? Like, I think the brand that the farmer's dog, probably caring would be their adjective. I think that's
Yeah. I would totally say that. I think that's a great point to pick like a main thing that fits with, and if you're a solopreneur, I would definitely suggest have it fit with your personality as well, because then it kind of resonates and that is going to carry through a lot easier. So whether it's friendliness or maybe, a certain amount of trust or whatever personality points that you want to bring forward, if you look at yourself and see kind of the best points of you and what you like to portray, that can really help you create the personality that's going to be easy for you to carry through your business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in business for a while, and initially I didn't really know all of the aspects of my brand and all the aspects of my own personality, like what was coming through to clients. But as I started gathering reviews, the same type of words would come up, that they would say, oh, she, took the time to listen and understand what I wanted, and then was able to help me create that vision. So that understanding and listening part is definitely something that keeps coming up over and over again. And that's, part of our brand personality, that we care also.
Yeah.
And that we're listening, and that we're trying to understand and really help the brand to show off what their personality is and what makes them important. And at the same time, we're sharing our personality. I mean, you want your brand to be recognizable like a close friend is, you want that same type of like, okay, I recognize that because that's my friend. I think that's it for this episode of Entrepreneur Mind Speak, unless you have something else, Natalie. Do you have anything else to add to?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Entrepreneur Mind Speak, and we'll see you on our next episode. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.